Hi everyone, in today's video you will able to find the angle such as the sine 360, sine 150, sine 120. This value are able to find because according to that class 10 trigonometry you are only able to find all the values between the 1 to 90, 1 to 90 degree. But this is going to be a very interesting and fantastic class. So this is also going to one of the easiest topic and but very interesting topic of the mathematics, because the students are very curious to know how we get these values and how we could find this angle more than this. So I want to tell you in this video you will not only get to find the sine 150 degree values of the sine 150, but also the lack of angle like the 1 lakh 2 lakh the degrees in angle you will able to find through this video. So let's start this video without wasting our time. So first of all, we know that in the coordinate geometry, we have the x-axis and the y-axis, and this is called the first quadrant, and this is called the second quadrant, and this one is called the third quadrant, and this one is called the fourth quadrant. So I want to be very clear that in this all the values will remain positive. All value will be a positive. That means the all values mean the sine, cos, tan, cosec, sec and cot. All the values will remain the positive. In this only the sine will remain positive. Sine theta will remain positive and all the values will in the negative. Sine theta and its opposite cosec theta. I am going to write here the cosec theta. This will also remain the positive in the second quadrant. In the third quadrant, tan theta and its opposite cot theta remains the positive, and in this sec theta and its opposite cos theta remains positive. So if someone will ask you tan theta will remain positive in which quadrant, so you could say the first quadrant because all the ratios are positive in the first quadrant, and the third quadrant in which the tan remains positive. So someone will ask you in which the tan theta will remain the positive, so you could say the first quadrant and the third quadrant. If someone will ask you the cosec theta will remain positive in which quadrant, then cosec theta will remain positive in the first quadrant because all the ratios remain positive, and the cosec theta will also remain positive in the second quadrant. So I think you understand this. And if you want to also know why the all the values remain the positive in this quadrant, second, third and fourth, then I will make a separate video over this so that I could explain it clearly. So in which quadrant the tan theta will remain the negative? So as you get to know that tan theta remain positive in the first quadrant and the third quadrant, then rest of the quadrant like the second and fourth in which tan theta will remain negative. If I will ask you in which quadrant the sine theta will remain the negative, so as you know that sine theta is positive in the first quadrant and second quadrant, then rest of the quadrant is the second and fourth in which the sine theta will remain the negative. So this you have to remember, as you could remember this by the as it is. Try to write the as it is and remember this. This is all values remain positive. Sine, this is the tan and this is the cos. Cos opposite is the sec theta and tan opposite is cot and sine is the cos. So this could be a trick by which you could remember all in which quadrant the trigonometric ratio will remain the positive. So I think you understand, but I want to explain something more interesting thing from this. So if I will ask you what is the angle of this one, so this is you are able to see that the two axes were perpendicularly each other. That means this angle is the 90. Okay, if this angle is the 90, that means angle this is the 90. So if it is the 0, then it is the 90. And what will be this angle? This is also perpendicular. So if it 90 and it is also 90, that means it is the 180. And like this, it will be a 180 plus 90 is the 270. And this again comes to the 360. So as you able to get that, it is just started from 0 degree to 90, 180 and 270 and then again 360. So one complete revolution you get the 360. This is the right, as you know from the childhood. If you get a complete revolution around a point, then you will get a 360 angle around them. So if I will ask you what, not remember, just if whatever I am asking, give the answer only, not think much over this, because it is something confusing topic. So if I will ask you what will the value of the sine 92 is in the positive or is in the negative. So starting from here, if you are starting from here, as I ask you sine 92 degree, so it will be a 90 and it is something like the 2 here. So 2 sine 90, this means 92 is lying in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant the sign remains positive, so here will the sign remains the positive. If I will ask the 95 degree, so starting from here, it is the, here we reach, then it is the 90 and something here, something which is the 95. So when I ask the 1095, so 1095, whatever the value will come, I will make you study after this. So the value will come in the negative sign. Why? Because the 10 is the positive in the third quadrant and the first quadrant, but 95 degree lies in the second quadrant, in which the tan theta is remain negative, because the sine and cosec only remain positive in this quadrant. So if I will ask you, if the sine 361 will remain positive or negative, the sine 361. So starting from here, here we get 90, 180, 270, 360. I am asking you sine 361. So you get something here, a point, which is the 361, which lies in the first quadrant, and in the first quadrant all the ratios remain positive. So the sine 361, whatever the values come, but remain in the positive. So this is what I want to teach. And next to last question over this concept, if I will ask you the sec 300, what will the value of sec 300? So it is the positive or negative. So starting from here, 90 degree, 180, 270 and something the 360 by lie in the fourth quadrant. In this quadrant the sec remains the positive. So whatever will the value of the 300 degree of the sec will come in the positive. So I think you may understand the concept of the positive, negative, in which value, in which, where the come the positive or negative. So I just keep to remain. After watching this video, you will able to get able to find such values of the sine 120. Before this, I want to tell you from the, just remember the two concept only here. In the 90 and 270. Sorry, first of all, in the 180 and 360, no change. Just remember what I am no change. What is changing, not changing, I am going to explain. Just wait for a while. And in the 90 and 270 changes. Sign changes in the cos. Sign change in the cos, and the cos change in the sine itself, and the tan theta, sin theta, tan theta changes into the cot, and cot changes into the tan, and the sec theta changes into the cosec theta. So this is what you have to remember. This changes only when we take the reference as a 90 and 270. What is this angle? 180, 360, 90, 270, all I am going to make you teach within a minute. So if I will ask you, what will the value of the sine 120? So what will be value of sine 120? So now just understand how you will find. So you could write that sine here as as the 180. So you could write here as the sign is the 90 plus 30, because the 90 plus 30 is also 120. So you could break down the angle 120 into the 90 plus 30. So as I said, when you take the reference the 90, then value changes. So in this 9 changes. If we have the reference as a 90, then it will changes. So if we have the sign, so sign changes into the cos. So you could write here the cos, and here you will write the 30 degree. So what is the value of cos 30 degree? So you know that cos 30 degree is the root 3 by 2. So root 3 by 2. So value of the sine 120 is equal to root 3 by 2. Is it will remain the positive value or negative? So the sine 120 lies in the second quadrant, in which the sign remains the positive. That means this value remains positive and there is no changes. So sine 120 is equal to root 3 by 2. So this is the answer. And just take the another example, like the sine 150. Yes, sine 150. What is the value of sine 150? So you could write here the sine as a 180 minus 30, because the 180 minus 30 is also the 150. As I said that in the 180 there is no change, means sine remains in the sine, and this 30 is written as the 30, and the sine 30 values is equal to 1 by 2. As you could know that in the class 10 trigonometry you had studied, the sine 30 is equal to 1 by 2. And is this remain positive or negative? So get the sine 150. So 150, if you are starting here something lies, that means it is lying in the second quadrant, means sine 150 will be the positive. So this answer is the right now. 1 by 2 is the right answer of the sine 50. So let's try the another example to get over this concept. So you could try like this. Tan 300. So what will the value of tan 300 degree? What is the value? So you could write here the tan as the tan, you could write here the 360 minus 30 minus 60, because the 360 minus 60 is equal to 300. So in the 360 the values doesn't change, as I said. So tan remains the tan and it becomes the 60. So tan 60 is equal to root 3. So is this positive will remain the value in the positive or negative? So check, the tan 300 is lies in this quadrant, and in this quadrant the sec positive, and the tan is only positive in the second quadrant. So the tan here will become under the negative. So the sign tan 300 is equal to the value of tan 300 minus root 3. So this is how you get the value. And you could solve this same question in the another way, like this. If this is the first way and this is the second way, as you could write the tan 300 as 270 plus 30. And as you know that tan changes if we have the angle 270, as I written here, in this it changes, but tan changes into what? Tan changes into the cot. So we have to find the cot 30, and the value of cot 30 is equal to root 3. Value of cot 30 is equal to root 3. But see, the tan 300 is lies in which quadrant? So it lies in the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant tans remain negative because it is only positive in the first quadrant and the third quadrant. So we have to write the answer as a minus root 3. So in this case you also get the minus root 3. In this case you also get the minus root 3. So this is what you get to know the answers. And if I want to go more than the 360, then how will you find the angle? If I have right here to find the sine 700 and the 50, what will be the value of sine 750? So just try this question. This is not very hard question. This is very easy. Just you have to use your concept which I have teach you now. So just starting from here, 0 degree. 90, 180, 270, 360, and again 360 plus 90, which is equal to 450, and go here you will again reach as a 300, 720. If you make the two revolution from here, you will again reach to 720, and I am asking about the 750. So here you will get the 720 and something you will reach here which is equal to 750. So this you could write here as, if you get the two revolution, then so you could here as 360 plus 369. So here you could write, is the value sign changes into any values? If we have the 360, that means it will not change. So sign remains the same and it is equal to the 390. And again this break down this into the smaller part, then you will get the sign as the 360 plus 30. And again the sign, if we have the 360, sign remains sign because it is not changing. It is only changing in the case of 90 degree and 270 degree. So again we have to find the sin 30, and sin 30 is equal to 1 by 2. It will be a positive or negative. So it is lying in the first quadrant and all the ratios remain positive in the first quadrant. So this will be also the positive and this is the right answer. So I think you may understand how you get the values. Yeah, you can left this step because you could directly say that if we have completed the one revolution, that means erase those. So directly you could find that in the 360 we have a complete revolution. You could left this and another the multiple of this. And thank you for today. I think you may understand how to get the values of the any angle more than the 90. And thank you for today.